In Part 2, Ulmer explores the Miami virtue narrative in regards to allegory. In this, we explore how people relate to the world, drawing together the perceptual concepts of the ancient world and today's perception of reality. This is what Heidegger conceptualizes as experiencing the world through attunement to moods. The ancient Greeks experienced the world through wonder. They wondered why things existed at all. They wondered what things were, how they worked, and what they all meant. They created philosophy to address their sense of wonder and give it language. One of the ways the ancient Greeks organized and related to the world was through Plato's concept of chora. Chora brought order from chaos by separating essence into the four elements: earth, air, fire, and water. It was through these elements that the Greeks related to their world. Modern society experiences the world through anxiety. Our sense of wonder and hope has faded. We no longer believe that new discoveries will bring about a better world. Though society as a whole may exist in a mood of dread, individuals may be attuned to various moods during their lives. The My Story approaches space through allegory. Like the structure of the Greek world, the My Story choral space is divided into four attunements: the anagogical or scientific, the moral, biographical or familial, the allegorical or entertainment pop cultural, and the literal, official, aka schooling. Ulmer relates the moral as the language learned in the home, English or Spanish, the habits and customs of the family, as well as ethnicity, race, gender, and so on. Like Isocrates and Aristotle, Ulmer believes that familial community experience as we mature shapes our perceptions of the world. One way societies, past and present, handle relating to their world is through divination. This isn't a way of prophesizing future states or conditions, but is a way of determining the forces at work upon us at present time. The better we understand the forces at work in our environments, the better we can relate to our world. Ulmer's My Story approach to the Miami River through divination was to survey the movement's positions, identity, and cries of the denizens, Haitians, Coast Guard, the homeless, developers, and such. Divination was the interface metaphor for touring the river. It was not the tour guide to explain the situation or problem. The situation explained them. How we interpret the world, the means we find, and how we choose to relate to our world is based off cultural myth through allegory. For the last century in the Western world, this has been popular genre presented through the media, TV, movies, advertising, internet. We identify with celebrities from early childhood, building our own mythology from media. The news media isn't about objectivity, it's about sensationalism. We receive the most shocking snippets of local, national, and international events swirled together into a presentation that will keep us waiting for the next hit. Theft, paranoia, death, pollution, danger, random violence. The first things others know of an area is from the news they digest. Ulmer believes that the myth of Miami is dynamic conflict between promotional public relations and noir narratives. The noir of Miami shifts between Magic City and Paradise Lost. Entertainment media creates new myths, such as the shows Miami Vice and CSI Miami. These are the image and sources people have of Miami long before they encounter the local space. Ulmer's views of analogy as a collective meaning of history is based on specialized knowledge. This experience is acquired through academia, our careers, our crafts, or trades. It is our cumulative knowledge through the experience that we learn which shapes our perception of the world. The views of Haitians help to build one mood, one attunement to the Miami River. This perception is one of personal persecution. They believe that laws are specific to subjugate the Haitian people. The mood of the officials, the Coast Guard, is also explored. To them, the laws are protecting honest, responsible ship captains and crews by impounding vessels that are in danger of sinking. This is also a societal cost preventative measure to minimize how often the Coast Guard is sent out to save ships and crews that should never have been allowed to sea. Our literal perspective of the world comes from school. We absorb the official version of our national, state, and local histories through textbooks. History is the collective memory of a culture or society. Ulmer does not present a separate literal segment in Part 2, but intersperses the literal throughout the discourse. Ulmer concludes Section 2 of Miami Virtue, discussing the theory which ties the My Story together. He discusses the topos of wisdom involved in the Miami River, the Caribbean Code, the Haitians, the idea of the other, and so on. To have a category, one must have a boundary point by which one is no longer us. You are them, the other. In the Miami My Story, this is found in the repeated image of the mattress. The quilting point holds the structure together, allowing there to be an inside and an outside. Heidegger's Hellenism, an ethics of the great that forgets the lowly. Caputo proposes an alternative to ethics of virtue or rule, a poetics of obligation. Poetics of the outcast. The Yammer Agency becomes obligated to the Haitian disaster. Through electracy, they are required to deliberate directly with disaster. But the problem-solution framework cannot work, requiring them to resort to myth and religion over science, their only way to address pain. Ulmer contends that choreography goes beyond critique to heuretics, beyond analysis of ideology to the default moods through which interpolation creates its identity borders. We not only map the chora by gathering the topoi and correlating it through atmospheres into an ideogram. The goal is to learn choral poetics, to become mythographers in a virtual city against the internet accident. As with my review of Part 1, I chose to find imagery that spoke the ideas inspired in Miami Virtue and then wrote a literary accompaniment to it.